Treaty with the Snake, August 12, 1865, ratified July 5, 1866. Articles of Agreement and Convention made and concluded at Sprague River Valley on this 12th day of August in the year 1865 by J.W. Parrott Huntington, Superintendent of Indian Affairs in Oregon on the part of the United States, and the undersigned chiefs and headmen of the Walpopai tribe of Snake Indians, acting in behalf of said tribe, being duly authorized so to do. Article 1. Peace is declared henceforth between the U.S. and the Walpopai tribe of Snake Indians, and also between said tribe and all other tribes in amity with the U.S. All prisoners and slaves held by the Walpopai tribe, whether the same are white persons or members of Indian tribes in amity with the U.S., shall be released, and all persons belonging to the said Walpopai tribe, now held as prisoners by whites or as slaves by other Indian tribes, shall be given up. Article 2. The said tribe hereby cedes and relinquishes to the U.S. all their right, title, and interest to the country occupied by them, described as follows to wit, beginning at the Snow Peak in the summit of the Blue Mountain Range near the heads of the Grand Ronde River and the North Fork of John Day's River, thence down said North Fork of John Day's River to its junction with the South Fork, thence due south to Crooked River, thence up Crooked River and the South Fork therefore to its source, thence southeasterly to Harney Lake, thence northerly to the heads of Malhauer and Burnt Rivers, thence continuing northerly to the place of beginning. Article 3. The said tribe agreeing to remove forthwith to the reservation designated by the treaty concluded on the 14th of October, 1864, with the Klamath, Mazdak, and Yahooskiw Snake Indians there to remain under the authority and protection of such Indian agent or other officer as the government of the U.S. may assign to such duty, and no member of said tribe shall leave said reservation for any purpose without the written consent of the agent or superintendent having jurisdiction over said tribe. Article 4. The said Walpopai tribe promised to be friendly with the people of the U.S., to submit to the authority thereof, and to commit no depredations upon the persons or property of citizens thereof, or of other Indian tribes, and should any member of said tribe commit any such depredations, he shall be delivered up to the agent for punishment, and the property restored. If after due notice the tribe neglect or refuse to make restitution, or the property is injured or destroyed, compensation may be made by the government out of the annuities hereinafter provided. In case of any depredation being committed upon the person or property of any member of the aforesaid Walpopai tribe, it is stipulated that no attempt at revenge, retaliation, or reclamation shall be made by said tribe, but the case shall be reported to the agent or superintendent in charge, and the U.S. guarantee that such depredation shall be punished in the same manner as if committed against white persons, and that the property shall be restored to the owner. Article 5. The said tribe promised to endeavor to induce the Huna, Bowie, and Wataka tribes of Snake Indians to cease hostilities against the whites, and they also agree that they will in no case sell any arms or ammunition to them nor to any other tribe hostile to the U.S. Article 6. The U.S. agreed to expend for the use and benefit of said tribe the sum of $5,000 to enable the Indians to fence, break up, and cultivate a sufficient quantity of land for their use, to supply them with seeds, farming implements, domestic animals, and such substance as may be necessary during the first year of their residence upon the reservation. Article 7. The U.S. also agreed to expend for the use and benefit of said tribe the sum of $2,000 per annum for 5 years next succeeding the ratification of this treaty, and $1,200 per annum for the next 10 years following the same, to be expended under the direction of the President of the U.S. for such objects as in his judgment will be beneficial to Indians and advance them in morals and knowledge of civilization. Article 8. The said tribe, after their removal to the reservation, are to have the benefit of the services of the physician, mechanics, farmers, teachers, and other employees provided for in the Treaty of 15th October 1864, in common with the Klamaths, Modocs, and Yahooskiw Snakes, and are also to have the use of the mills and schoolhouses provided for in said treaty, so far as may be necessary to them, and not to the disadvantage of the other tribes. And in addition, an interpreter who understands the Snake language shall be provided by the government. Whenever in the judgment of the President the proper time shall have arrived for an allotment of land and severalty to Indians upon said reservation, a suitable tract shall be set apart for each family of the said Walpopai tribe, and peaceable possession of the same is guaranteed to them. Article 9. The tribe are desirous of preventing the use of ardent spirits among themselves, and it is therefore provided that any Indian who brings liquor onto the reservation, or who has it in his possession, may, in addition to the penalties affixed by law, have his or her proportion of the annuities withheld for such time as the President may determine. Article 10. This treaty shall be obligatory upon the contracting parties as soon as the same shall be ratified by the Senate of the U.S. In testimony whereof the said J.W. Parrott Huntington, Superintendent of Indian Affairs, and the undersigned chiefs and headmen of the tribe aforesaid, have hereunto set their signatures and seals at the place and on the day a year above written. J.W. Parrott Huntington, Superintendent Indian Affairs in Oregon, Pananine, his X-mark, Hauni Nui, his X-mark, Kinau Nie, his X-mark, Waak Chow, his X-mark, Chakapsi, his X-mark, Sheji, his X-mark, Cha'emama, his X-mark, Now Hupakau, his X-mark, Kipau Wika, his X-mark, Hane, or Shastuk, his X-mark, Satutuwi, his X-mark. Executed in our presence, W.V. Reinhardt, Major 1st Oregon Infantry, William Kelly, Captain 1st Cavalry, Oregon Volunteers, Lindsay Applegate, William C. McKay, M.D. Acting Interpreter, Albert Applegate, 2nd Lieutenant 1st Oregon Infantry, Commanding Escort, F.B. Chase.